So you're thinking about an Executive MBA, and you've probably heard of the Kellogg Schulich program, right? It's consistently called Canada's best, but what does that really mean for your career? Well, we're going to break it all down. We'll look at what the program offers, who it's for, and how you can get in. By the end of this, you'll have a much clearer picture of whether this is your next big move. First, I want you to see this quote from Trisha Tanton, a recent grad. She says the program made the impossible become possible. I mean, that's a pretty powerful statement, right? It really frames this whole thing not just as school, but as a genuinely life-changing experience that can completely reshape what you think you can achieve. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get into what makes this program #1 in Canada. Then, a big one. Are you the right fit? We'll look at the classroom, talk about the investment, and finally, map out exactly how to get admitted. Okay, let's jump right into that first question. What's all the buzz about? Why is this Canada's top-ranked EMBA, and how is it supposed to unlock your potential? Well, the headline is pretty simple. The Economist consistently ranks it #1 in the country. But here's the really cool part. It's plugged into the Kellogg School of Management's global network. This connects you to campuses and leaders everywhere, the US, Europe, Asia. So you're not just enrolling in a Toronto program, you're basically getting a key to a worldwide network. So, we know it's a top program with a huge network, but let's make this about you. This next part is all about figuring out if you're the right fit. We're going to take a close look at who's actually in the classroom so you can see if you'd feel at home. So who exactly would you be sitting next to? This is so important because with an EMBA, you learn just as much from your peers as you do from the professors. So let's look at the numbers. Just look at the level of experience in the room. The average student has 15 years of work experience, and 10 of those are in management. Think about that for a second. The person in your study group might have been leading teams for a decade. That's an incredible resource right there. And the seniority levels? Also super impressive. More than half the class are managers or senior managers. A quarter are directors. And get this, almost 1 in 5 are already in the C-suite. This kind of mix just creates these incredibly rich conversations, from people deep in the operations to those setting the company's grand strategy. So, what does it take to join them? Well, the basics are a bachelor's degree, at least 8 years of work experience, and you need to have real management responsibilities. That could mean leading people, big projects, or budgets. And here's a big one for a lot of people. The GMAT is generally not required for qualified candidates. That definitely makes the application process a lot more streamlined. Okay, let's say you fit the profile. What's the program actually like? Let's dive into part 3, the 18-month journey inside what they call a truly global classroom. The whole thing is laid out over 18 months, kicking off in January. You start with a big launch week, then dive into the business fundamentals. And then a huge highlight comes in August, Global Network Week at the main Kellogg campus. That's where you get to meet and work with EMBA students from all over the world. The home stretch is all about customizing your experience with global electives and a big capstone project. Now, how do you manage all this with a demanding job? The program is built for executives. Classes are only held 1 weekend every 3 weeks. Honestly, this schedule is a game changer. It cuts down on your time away from the office and gives you enough breathing room to actually prep, absorb the material, and even apply what you're learning at your job in real time. And this is where that global idea really comes alive. You get to customize your learning by taking electives at partner schools around the world. I mean, imagine studying mergers and acquisitions in Miami, entrepreneurial finance in Germany, or value investing in Hong Kong. This isn't just a field trip, it's a deep dive into a topic with a totally different group of global leaders. All right, an experience like this is obviously a huge commitment. So let's get practical and talk about the investment in your future and how you can actually fund this kind of transformation. Let's just put the number out there. For domestic students in the 2026-2027 cohort, the program fee is $113,350 Canadian dollars. It's a serious number, for sure. So let's break down exactly what you get for it. So you've got the domestic fee, just over $113,000, and the international fee is closer to $148,000. The really important thing here is what's included. This isn't just tuition. The fee covers your books, all your course materials, and even your meals and hotel for the mandatory offsite parts, like launch week. It's pretty much all-inclusive, so you can just focus on the learning. So how do people pay for this? It's usually a mix of things. A lot of students get company sponsorship. If you're paying yourself, you can use things like tax credits and the lifelong learning plan to pull from your RRSPs. All the major banks have special loan programs too. And definitely don't forget about scholarships. There are quite a few, including awards like the Women in Leadership Scholarships, which are worth $10,000 each. Okay, we've covered the what, the who, and the how. Let's wrap things up with the final piece, your path to admission. How do you actually take that first step? The good news is the process is designed to be supportive, not intimidating. It all starts with a really simple pre-assessment. You just submit your CV. That's it. If your profile looks like a potential fit, they invite you for a pre-application interview. It's really more of a conversation to make sure the program is right for your goals. And only after a successful interview are you invited to do the full, formal application. And when you get that invitation to apply, the package itself is pretty straightforward. You'll need the application form and fee, your transcripts, your CV, some essays, and a couple of reference letters. You'll also need a letter from your employer saying they support the time commitment, and one from you confirming that you're ready to commit. So there you have it. We've walked through Canada's top program, the kind of leaders you'll meet, the global journey you'll go on, and the investment it takes. You've got all the key info. Now, really, the only question left is the one right there on the screen. Are you ready to transform your potential?